Yesterday I was reading the news and there was this article about a 13-year-old bitten by a shark in Australia. This understandably grabbed the attention because it's frightening and dramatic. Events like this jump out in the media partly because they disrupt our expectation that the beach is safe and familiar, even though they are statistically very rare. When we look at the big picture instead of just today's headline, we see this. The Australian Shark Incident Database has recorded over 1,100 shark-human interactions in Australia since 1791. Of all those cases, about 250 resulted in fatalities, meaning the vast majority were non-fatal or minor. Across decades of data, shark incidents average about 20 per year, with around 2.8 fatalities annually in Australia. In 2024, for example, there were 19 reported shark-human interactions nationally and only one fatality. To put that in perspective, everyday activities that 13-year-olds might take for granted carry far greater risks. In Australia, on average, around 1,200 people are killed every year in road accidents. That is more than 1,000 times higher than the typical number of fatal shark bites per year. So what's going on? People naturally overestimate the danger of rare but dramatic events like shark bites because they are unusual and emotionally charged, while the more common but less sensational risks like car accidents hardly make headlines. This difference between actual statistical risk and perceived risk is a great example of why data matters in science and in everyday decision making. Of course, it's important to respect the seriousness of what happened and have empathy for anyone injured or affected. Science isn't about dismissing personal experiences, but rather it's about placing them into a wider context that helps us understand probability and risk. And it all comes down to learning to balance emotional reactions with data. This isn't just useful for studying sharks, it helps us interpret news, evaluate claims, and make better informed decisions in all areas of life.